wonderfulness in the build-up. It has been. It has just been superb to see everybody coming together. These two, follow that. These two.
Well, they have to, and the instructions are simple for both sides. You've got to win. If you play well in the process, then that's a bonus. But both sides have to win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, massive, huge consequences for both sides. A big build-up. Emotionally, Huddersfield have just got to deal with that. The atmosphere is fiercely sort of stacked against them. But let's see what Huddersfield can do.
Well, it's Richie Myler getting the game underway. Leeds wearing that special MND kit that they wore at the Magic Weekends in honour of Doddy Weir as well, inspired by Doddy and his family. And Huddersfield in their customary kits have possession first up, and both these sides, well, both these sides with distinctly unimpressive records so far this season, and one win in the last 7 games.
Yeah, inconsistent from Leeds, up and down. Rocks and Diamonds produced some great stuff, but also some shockers along the way. Huddersfield, who look so consistent, have just lacked any fizz, and I agree with Phil Clark. A lot of X-factor players, but getting the chemistry right, as Ian Watson said before the game, is taking much longer than he would have hoped.
Well, there's an X-factor player, isn't it? Will Price. He will be given the freedom where Theo Fage and Ollie Russell will have to think clearly and act decisively.
Here's Chris McQueen, and McQueen juggling with the ball, and somehow I thought he'd almost managed to keep it alive, but instead it's snapped up by Ash Hanley.
Well, that's neither clearly or decisively, is it?
Well, neither is that, Barry. And somehow Leeds get it back.
So Leeds, I think Leeds like it when it's crazy. When I watch them, they sort of embrace it when the game goes crazy.
Yeah, but you don't want it crazy in the first 2 minutes.
Well, Huddersfield have moved the ball around. Encouraging signs. I think Russell and Fage are naturally a great combination for Huddersfield on the ball, but they can't get drawn into this almost global Harlem Globetrotters. Barry, if you could put my teeth back in for me.
So Leeds came off his toes. Richie Myler did well there. Looked like it being another knock-on. Blake Austin, Cameron Smith and Aidan Caesar back in the side after his absence. Hoists the kick, and Jermaine McGilvray, another returnee, has missed the last 6 games, gathers that kick. Leeds have had their moments this season. They've beaten Wigan, they've beaten Catalan, they've beaten St Helens. And yet they have lost the last 2 games to the bottom 2, Castleford and Wakefield.
And that's not good enough. It's not good enough for the club and the ground and the set of players that are wearing the shirts this evening. I went back and watched the game from Rivals round. Same place, same 2 teams, and that was chaotic. And both teams had different periods where they were in the groove. They looked like they were in a position to take the win, but they simply handed it over to their opposition. No idea what we're going to get tonight.
Russell putting the kick in, looking for a 40-20, but it doesn't have the angle. Leeds will have to retrieve it. David Fusatu, let's go down to the sidelines and hear from John Wells.
Yeah, good evening, Bill. A warm and sultry evening, light bit of drizzle, and a really emotionally charged day for those of you who've joined the broadcast from 7:30 this evening. And the opening exchange is everything you would expect as well, with 2 teams in the positions they are in. Very cagey, very nervous. The team who settles first will have the better of this, but they've got a little bit of grease on the ground to contend with as well. A bit of light drizzle about half an hour ago.
Yeah, it is very humid. And elsewhere there is action just down the road. The Castleford Tigers an early lead against Warrington, and Hull KR have gone ahead against Wakefields. Here's Sam Walters, the 6'5" prop, starting tonight.
Nice work from Sam Walters there, getting his half-back a quick play the ball on the last tackle.
Austin puts the kick in, Will Price underneath it, and Will Price, a dangerous returner of the ball.
Yeah, he's dangerous. I think it's worth mentioning a couple of the people who've moved on, or specifically one from Huddersfield, Danny Levi. His threat out of dummy half, I think, contributed a lot to how they attacked last year. Not having him there, Nathan Peake's very competent, absolutely competent in that position, but just not the running threat. And I just wonder if that's been the thing that's missing out of this dynamic this year for Huddersfield.
We saw Jake Connor performing for the reserves before this one. Huddersfield putting Leeds to the sword in that contest, and Jake Connor on the sidelines once again. Nathan Peets this time with the kick, and he's looking for a 40-20. And Myler scurrying across and making the Leeds fullback work early on here.
We do see that a lot from Huddersfield. They kick early, they back their defence, and they try and build and ramp up the pressure on their opponents.
A lot of teams speak about playing the long game at the minute, and what they say is just build pressure, kick to corners, chase aggressively, and be energetic on your first 3 rucks. Well, that's what Huddersfield's game's been built over the last 18 months. So getting back to that is a great platform for them.
Leeds, 3 tackles gone this set. They're just outside their own 20. And Leroy Cudjoe in there, making his 358th appearance for the Huddersfield Giants this evening. Here is Cameron Smith. Now Aidan Caesar. He'll be celebrating his 32nd birthday tomorrow, Will Caesar, hoping that it'll be on the back of a Leeds win as Price comes onto that ball at pace.
Will Price attacked that ball, didn't he? And many players will just let the pace of the ball just go away a little bit. He runs forward, he wants to catch it. And every time he catches the ball, he runs like he's going to break the line.
Move back here, Mick, and wait.
Will Price, of course, set for an NRL career next year with the Newcastle Knights. Here is Jermaine McGilvray. Has missed the last 6 games. This is only his 5th appearance of the season. One of the really strong returners of the ball, Cudjoe. Peets keeping it alive, Luke Yates, and here is Chris McQueen. McQueen, a dangerous runner, but he's lost that ball, and Cam Smith swoops on it for Leeds.
Big contact from Blake Austin. Chris McQueen, was so dangerous with the ball, carries strong, often makes a lot of clean breaks. Well, Austin squares him up. McQueen makes the error.
He was really good in that game that I spoke about previously, the rivals round game. Couple of tries, really dominant on the edge, on this right edge for Huddersfield.
Good work from Hanley, making some yards for Leeds there, gets the appreciation of the South Stand. Walters again, drifting across the field. Jared O'Connor there in 14. He's just signed a new 3-year deal with the club. Inked the contract yesterday, I think. Blake Austin back on the inside to Aledzki, and now here's Bentley, and Bentley just angle tapped with a line at his mercy.
I think there's a trip here, Bill. As he breaks the line, Bentley. Some nice play, isn't it? Inside. The big fella finds a beautiful offload. Yeah, and there's a trip there, is it? Nagama.
Yeah, Ben Taylor indicating that, and he's just taking advice from his colleagues.
It's a massive contribution. I don't think it's a trip. I think he gets a hand on him. I think as long as you make contact with your hand and then your leg's involved, I don't see that as anything malicious.
Okay, back on. Go.
Kevin Nagama, the man picked out for that, so Leeds with the penalty and an opportunity after 7.5 minutes here. That was the tackle. Just got in a bit of a tangle. Caesar, Myler. Quick work from Bibby to close him down. Jared O'Connor, here is Caesar, here is Cameron Smith, here is Aledzki now. Aledzki takes it to just shy of that Huddersfield Giants 10. O'Connor's pass, here is Austin. Austin, a little dummy, trying to use his strength, and he's got some. He's lost that ball, he's got it back. Now Jared O'Connor leads the opportunity here, but Cameron Smith, the ball's gone to ground there. Tell you what, they're getting the rub of the green here. The little kick comes through, and Senior is back there, but it's a good chase by Fusitua to bring him down.
That's brilliant work, isn't it? When the kick goes in, I've no doubt that kick, there's not too much communication, but Fusitua anticipates the kick, reacts to the kick and makes that crucial tackle.
Yeah, it's a great chase from Fusitua. An accurate kick from Aidan Caesar. Got a really great range of kicks, Aidan Caesar. I'm sure Leeds fans would love to see more of it. Great kick there, fantastic chase. And this is how you get into games. You build pressure. You spend an extended period of time attacking the opponent's line. And stats suggest that's when you're most likely to come up with points. And Leeds will be hoping to get something out of this.
Walters, solid hit, wasn't it, from Luke Yates, the hitman, who leads the line forward in every department.
Go on.
Cameron Smith. An ever-present figure in this Leeds side this season, Cameron Smith. And the competition's top tackler so far is Reece Martin, once again in the centres for Leeds. Nenny McDonald not available. Harry Newman, of course, recovering from injury. Oh, an opportunity opens up and Walters will get the first try of the night. Striding imperiously through that Huddersfield defence. He's been involved early on. Sam Walters making his presence felt. And Huddersfield have no answer to him there. That long striding run taking him through the Giants' rearguard to claim the first try of the night and his first try of the season.
Well, he built that try on the back of some exceptional work from the half-back RD16. It's a nice line, it's a simple pass. Sometimes the simple, basic skills of rugby league are the most effective and can often confuse and foil every runner. Aidan Caesar's kick gave them repeat possession, and he just keeps his eyes open, catches the ball at the line. It looks easy.
Just too easy though, Barry. It's nice from Leeds. The execution's great from Leeds. But Ian Watson will be disappointed that Walters has gone through with just one hand touching him. There's a couple of defenders around him. Whatever's going on outside you, you've almost got to drop that and deal with what's right in front of you. Well, it's Sam Walters, a massive character, running hard. And there's Kudjo and a couple of characters there who need to deal with that much better. But great start here from Leeds, Bill.
So Reece Martin, another of the players who've been ever-present for Leeds so far this season. And his goal-kicking accuracy has been pretty ever-present. 37 successes from 52, 38 from 53 now for a 71% success rate for Rowan Smith's side. And Sam Walters, the try scorer.
Yeah, and it was all pressure built by Aidan Caesar's kick and Fussy Tua with a marvellous chase. From that point, Leeds get some possession, some time. Cam Smith loves to move the ball subtly, is it for a loose forward, and it's a great line from Walters. But as I said, Ian Watson will be disappointed with how easy that was for Leeds, but well constructed and well taken from Walters.
Rumours that Sam Walters might be on the move in the close season. Wigan, a club mentioned. Castleford further ahead against Warrington, 6-0 on Hull KR, 10-0 up against Wakefield, the bottom of the table side, who won against Leeds last time out. An ignominious day that was for Leeds and their supporters. There was a lot of discontent after that, and Leeds have been waiting since then to really put the record straight.
Absolutely, I watched the game. It's up there as one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Leeds team. So no doubt during the period of time when the Challenge Cup's been on, they've been looking at what's gone wrong and then working on that determination to put it right.
Well, Rowan Smith said before the game that they've had time on the training field and they've put that to good use. We'll see if that's the case. Here is Jermaine McGilvray, 35 years of age now. Kevin Nagama.
Move, backhand, squared up.
As Huddersfield seek a response. And here is another seasoned campaigner in Chris Hill. He is a durable character, ever present this season so far.
Yeah, it's great late footwork, causes problems. Huddersfield just moving the ball again. It comes to nothing. Kevin Nagama on the ball here just reminds me of another loss for Huddersfield. Ricky Latelli, I firmly believe he's one of the best players in our competition. Look what he's doing at Lee. Well, he was a thorn in everybody's side at Huddersfield last year. Kevin Nagama, again, tidy replacement, but is he a Ricky Latelli? I'm not sure.
Good return from Fussy Tua, who's missed the last 9 games, having sustained an ankle injury, but he's lost that, and then he said something, and you've got to be careful. Look what happened to Josh Griffin.
With the climate as it is today, this present time, with players answering back to referees, you're always going to be penalised, but it's a fundamental part of our game. Keep your discipline. A referee, to my knowledge, has never changed his mind, so keep your trap shut.
I'm not sure it was David Fussy Tua that was...
Whoever it was.
That was Ash Handley.
Oh, this is... Do you mean to tell me you never back-chatted
I was too out of breath, to be fair, Bill.
If you use profanity at a referee, you get penalised. That's simple. It's always been the case. It's not like it's new, is it?
Well, we make it. That's the first play the ball that Huddersfield Giants have had in this half so far.
Here's Will Price, ducks under the tackle of Walters. But Cameron Smith, Bentley there to bring him down. Tearing down the middle comes Luke Yates at pace there. He's brought down 10 metres out. Chris Hill rampaging towards the line, and they stop him just short. Crucial intervention from Myler there. McDonnell was in there as well. Bibby once more Leeds, slamming the door in his face. McDonnell in there once again. Good work from him. Nathan Peets on the last. Russell kicks cross field, and it's snapped up by Hanley.
Big tackle from McGilvray as well. Hanley was in space. It was a one-on-one tackle. Huge moment there from Jermaine McGilvray.
Good defence on the line from the Rhinos there. First, Chris Hill on the charge.
And McDonnell, wasn't it? Came up with two big efforts on that Huddersfield attack. Sloppy again from Huddersfield here. I think it's Theophage.
He's had a lot of traffic early on in this game, hasn't it? Halfbacks typically get a lot of players running in or around them to try and worry the defenders either side, but we've seen Theophage make a number of tackles already in this game.
As tough as Theophage, he'll get stuck in. He's brave, but he's certainly a smaller guy. You know, you get a little bit of joy around him.
Here is Oledzki now. Missed the start of the season, missed the first 6 games with a shoulder problem, but getting into his stride, having come back into the team. Cameron Smith now. Trio of Huddersfield defenders stopping his progress. The Giants, 3rd place finishers last season. Here they are now going into this game 10th in the table. Blake Austin wriggles away from the first challenge. Austin gets the pass away to Myler, and Myler will get a miraculous try for the Leeds Rhinos. But Austin doing the spade work there. Myler on his shoulder, and Blake Austin gets the plaudits of his teammates. He would not be stopped. Huddersfield thought they had their man, but he just kept on going, and Richie Myler finished off.
There's loads of ways to score points in rugby league. You can use structure, you can be smart, you can be delicate, or you can just run with so much determination and so much ferocity that you leave players in your wake. And Blake Austin, through pure will and intent and purpose with his carry, has just taken the ball and dictated to this Huddersfield defence. And Theophage, who you mentioned there, Barry, just clinging on for dear life. Well, it didn't matter. Austin's will was greater than that as Huddersfield. Richie Myler with the try. And Rowan Smith will be delighted. But here's the problem with Huddersfield. The will was bigger in Blake Austin than it was from the Huddersfield defenders to stop him. Massive try for Richie Myler, but all through the hands of Austin.
Blake Austin, who has been another one of the regular figures in this side. Kept that standoff role his own for 14 of the 16 games this season. A bit of consistency there. It's been his partner that's been the problem. Caesar's been absent, Myler has been in there. Martin then with another successful conversion, and Leeds with a successful opening 17.5 minutes of this game. And Rowan Smith will be satisfied. He was looking for a response from his side after the debacle of the Wakefield defeat. Well, it's going well so far for his side. They lead by 12 points to 0. Let's go down to the sideline and John Wells.
Yeah, and he'll be very happy with the input from Blake Austin there. He's amassed some pretty decent stats so far this season. Came in for plenty of criticism over the last 12-18 months. That was his 13th try assist, 17th line break assist, 5th and 2nd in Super League.
But he hasn't scored a try this season, Blake Austin.
No, but if he runs with the commitment and the ferocity that he does on that occasion, it won't be too much longer.
No, his tries tend to be from that sort of build-up. They're not subtle.
But he's an indicator for me. Look, it's a mistake from Bentley. such a shame for Leeds, because when Blake Austin gets the bit between his teeth, then all of a sudden James Bentley's following him. Everybody then, Leeds starts to carry the ball hard. The intent's infectious. The unfortunate thing here that the intent what Blake Austin's created through his try has just been relieved by that error there.
I think somebody we didn't mention, you can just see him at the top of your screen there, Richie Myler. Richie Myler, he's at his best when he's got that floating, roving role and he can get on the end of things. He's got wonderful anticipation. If you follow Blake Austin, some of the other players that can offload the ball, Cam Smith, etc., he's going to come up with a couple of rewards.
Move, Jared! Wait!
Huddersfield's opportunity to hit back here. Here is Joe Greenwood, back in the side, having missed the last game. Nathan Peets. Here is Oliver Russell. Russell, little skip, and Nathan runs in.
Now
to
he's
St.
tough
Walters.
as well, Ollie Russell. He's been given the responsibility in the partnership with Theo Fage. Direct and dictate, but he's no shrinking violet himself.
Neither's this guy, Chris Hill. As Huddersfield look for a response after this Leeds domination. Fage ducks under the first tackle but can't get away from Aledzki. Nathan Peets puts a little kick in. Nakama was looking for that one, but it was well covered by the Leeds Rhinos.
It's a shocker from Pete. It's too strong straight off his boot. And look, Huddersfield, for me, the problem, look, their attack's been an issue. They certainly haven't scored points, and Ian Watson will be aware of that, but he'll be more concerned with the defence. Ian Watson's Salford team's incredibly hard to beat, didn't concede many points, and his Huddersfield team has had that trademark. They've lost that identity just recently.
Fusatua with the run. Castleford extending their lead against Warrington, 8 points to 0. And Hull KR in control against Wakefield. Warrington going through the agonies at the moment and trailing at Castleford, the side second from bottom in the table. See Blake Austin at the bottom of the shot there, and apologies to him because he has scored a try away from home. He might score a try at home now. No, he's going to set one up for Hanley. He's going to set one up for Hanley. And Blake Austin really is in the mood tonight. He scored a try away from home at Wakefield.
Well said.
I thought he was going to score a try there. And he presented it to Ash Hanley on a plate.
Another blistering, powerful run. He steps, well, he actually shows the ball. It's enough to make the defenders in front of him just hesitate ever so slightly, and he glides through that hole. Well, he barged through on the last one. On this one, he accelerates, sums up the situation really well, and puts it on a plate for Ash Hanley. I talked about being decisive. When you've got halfbacks who are clear in their instruction, clear in their thoughts, decisive in what they do, and running first. Think running first rather than passing it on. It's an exciting formula to be part of and a dangerous one to be defended against.
Well, I think you can tell a lot about how Blake Austin's going to play by his early involvements. Well, his early involvements here tell us he's on. He wants to play, and when he runs onto the ball like that, it's magical to watch. He's created opportunities for Leeds, and he's just dictating the intensity of the game, and that's what you want from somebody who touches the ball so much. Is really the body language that he has when he's on, like I said, is infectious.
I wonder in a different team whether he might have and wear a different number, have a different role.
Well, and look at this, for the contrast with sort of Blake Austin, shoulders back, looks like a champion, and then we've got Huddersfield players behind the sticks, maybe questioning, uncertain about what's happening. Not a lot of comms going on, and there's a contrast in pictures here which is beautiful. Blake Austin shoulders back, Huddersfield in disarray.
And Reece Martin about to add 2 more points given his kicking form, but this one the most difficult he's faced this evening, and he's still on target. 3 from 3 for Reece Martin, 18-0. Leeds ahead after 22 minutes.
Yeah, great start from Leeds and a great start from Blake Austin. Just really got the bit between his teeth. He's created intensity, but more importantly for Leeds, he's created points. and created a beautiful lead here for Leeds. 18 points up against Huddersfield, who are on the ropes, Bill.
A bit of communication between the referee, Ben Thaler, and Chris Hill. He's not happy with something. I see. Tuit Lola here prowling the sideline, instructed by Ian Watson, we believe. Get warmed up.
Well, all three of them are standing up on the sideline. He might be able, by thinking of triple changes. It's happened before.
We've seen that a few times, haven't we? Going back to Ian Millward.
They're under pressure at Huddersfield as a club actually right now, and the players feel it a little bit, and then it ratchets up, and Ian Watson will feel it a little bit more, and then it goes all the way to the top. Who will be absolutely feeling the pinch of pressure is Richard Thewlis and Ken Davey, who have invested heavily in this squad and just not getting the returns that they'd like.
Cameron Smith, it looks as though Tui Lola is coming on, and Sebi Kahihifo is going to be coming on as well. So double change. As Austin, that's another of his tricks, the towering kick, and that one pinballs around. It's still on the last, it's still on the last. Myler manages to get the kick away. Caesar pursuing, and the try in the end for McDonald. Oh, James McDonald with the try, or is it? Because that ball went everywhere on the ground. No try, says Ben Thaler. Tom Grant is the video ref.
Or onside, I should say. Yeah, I'm not happy, Jared.
Tackle 5, on for the call of no try, we're checking onside, offside. So we're back to the original kick. So we pause this on the foot, so everybody to the right of the kicker is onside. We've got some players off to the left, but we'll track them. So keep going, please. Just go back on this, please. Touched by Leeds. Keep going. Can we just get close in on that, please, there, just to confirm whether the ball is knocked on or not. Anything closer on that, please? We're looking at if the ball goes forward in relation to the ground. Just where we can see the hands. Thank you, I've got a decision.
Tom Grant is video ref, and it's ironically James McDonald who thought he got the try. It's James McDonald who's come up with a knock on, and that's is going to mean that this try is denied.
I like the energy though, Bill. We saw last night what energy and enthusiasm brought to the black and whites, who beat St Helens against all the odds. I think it's Lewis Roberts who eventually picks it up, but yeah, the knock-on comes from James McDonald.
It's been a bright start from McDonald. You know, an error there, potentially a try.
Dear me, he's got it back. They want him to have another go.
Can he have another go?
Dear me, Huddersfield, having got off the hook, gifted possession, and Leeds come charging in again. Here's Lissoni. Is it Sebi Kahihifo's first touch? Quite possibly. Bit of a scruffy play, the ball from Sam Lissoni, but allowed to carry on. Here's McDonald once more. Now then, Jared O'Connor, Lissoni, but Greenwood is there. Numbers there to stop Lissoni just off the bench. Jared O'Connor, Leeds looking for more. Cameron Smith, Caesar trying to find a way through. Chris McQueen clinging on, the ball is lost, and it's knocked on, and Huddersfield will get off the hook again, I think.
That's the first blip, isn't it, for the Rhinos? Aidan Caesar, with bodies around him, wants to get that offload away in a virtually impossible position.
A mad position to try and offload the ball. There was 12 legs, 5 arms and 9 bodies in his way. He was trying to thread the eye of a needle, but yeah, you're right, the first mistake really from Leeds, who've just been better at turning up with pace and with some intensity than Huddersfield had. Huddersfield look flat, but they've not had the ball, have they, Barry? So they're bound to look flat.
Here's Jake Bibby in the centres this evening, having been playing on the wing, and Tui Lolahea, who's been on the bench, and Leeds penalised.
And with that in mind, Wilco, maybe Ian Watson's instructions to the players that have come on is give us some energy, give us something from the bench.
All line in the middle.
Could do with something, some response, because Leeds have been running the show.
Yeah, they've dictated in every part of the game. They've kicked better, they've carried harder. Ian Watson will be puzzled as to what to do, but the certain way to get back into a game is build some pressure. We saw St Helens' inability to build any pressure whatsoever, and now Hull FC just lapped that up. Well, Huddersfield have just got to build some pressure and have time on the ball. They've just not invested enough in that so far.
Here's Seb Ikahihifo. After good work from Lolahea and Fage. And now here's Russell and Leroy Cudjoe. McDonnell with the tackle on him. Here is Fage, Greenwood. It runs straight into Oledzki and Sam Lisoni. That's the 5th tackle. About 20 metres or so out as Russell has the ball. They run it, and then Cudjoe puts the little kick in. It's too strong again.
Last players for Huddersfield have just not been good enough. It's another attempt to just build some pressure. You know, I think Huddersfield last year would have just taken that tackle and be happy finishing in the corner. I don't think the kick from Pete or the kick from Cudjoe is particularly how Ian Watson wants his side to play. It's almost desperation from them.
3rd place finishers last season. Huddersfield now 10th in the table this time. OKR 22-0 up against Wakefield, and still 10-0 to the Castleford Tigers against Warrington. Leeds. 3 tackles gone this set. Jared O'Connor, Aidan Caesar. There's Oledzki on his shoulder.
Move to it! Wait it, Joe. Wait!
And it's been a
a
controlled performance from Leeds so far, and they've been very much on the front foot. And Sam Lisoni continuing that. And here is Caesar once more on the last. They run it. Martin gets the pass away, and Hanley went forward.
I think they've earned the right to put players like that on. We talked about the DNA of Salford, the DNA of Huddersfield, should I say, on Ian Watson's side. It's a nice ball there with a clean pass. Obviously, Reece Martin puts his winger in for a try, but Leeds Rhinos completing really high, putting a lot of effort in defensively, and they're almost playing Huddersfield's game against them.
Yeah, and I like everything about that play. It's Aidan Caesar at full speed, it's Blake Austin at full speed, Bill. It's just really hard to defend, and Huddersfield have struggled with that.
It takes a forward pass to be forward for the South Stand to think it was a forward pass. I'll tell you that.
Genuinely forward.
That was genuinely forward. Set restart signalled. And then the referee brings them back for the penalty in favour of Huddersfield. And it's a high shot.
There was some good work from backfield from Jermaine McGilvray, and a couple of defenders called offside. And then I think from this play here, Tui Lolahea getting out from 9. The point you were making about Nathan Peets, he's got out at 9 and he's drawn a penalty from James Bentley. Tui Lolahea.
Right, here's Jack Ashworth off the bench for Huddersfield to maybe bring a little vigorosity to their side, because they need something. Set restart signal. Cameron Smith getting in a tangle with Ashworth there. Ikahihifo appeals to the referee for similar treatment. Nothing coming his way. Here is Fage. McQueen now. Bentley up around the neck. 20 metres away they are from that Leeds try line. Here is Ashworth once more, and Ikahihifo on his shoulder. Edging their way towards the Leeds line. 10 minutes to go before half-time. Is this an opportunity for Huddersfield Giants to respond? That's the 4th tackle. Lollahea.
Go with this.
Russell with a little step and comes back across the field, then puts the kick in. McQueen is chasing, and it was an air shot from Blake Austin in the end. Did he mean that? He got away with it.
I'm not committed either way, because you couldn't put it past him, even with Chris McQueen virtually on his shoulder.
Well, whatever, it's 3 kicks that are too long and 3 pressure relieving kicks from Huddersfield in this part of the field. And when you're playing against a team who put the ball dead, your full team, the full Leeds team would have just breathed a huge sigh of relief, and they get a 7 tackle set starting from the 20.
Here is Hanley, try scorer in this dominant first half-hour performance. Justin Sangare, a South Stand favourite, the French international.
I felt the earth move then. Yates and Sangare meeting in the middle.
Austin, here is Myler now. Myler, Bibby tracking him down to make the tackle. Lewis Roberts, the 21-year-old Welsh international, starting this evening. The Sonny once more, and Leeds making good progress up the field. 20 metres away from this Huddersfield line they are now. Caesar with the kick, that's how to do it.
There you go, Bill. Exactly, nailed it. The contrast is clear to see. Huddersfield's touch, if they had a bag of golf clubs, Huddersfield just selected driver every time. Well, it's a beautiful wedge shot there from Leeds. Fantastic, soft touch. RD16's kicking game, he's come up with a try, and he's built pressure there. It's fantastic from Leeds.
14-0, the Castleford Tigers lead Warrington.
What is going on?
Wakefield have hit back, 22-6 the scoreline at Hull KR. What is going on? Wow, Warrington.
Looked so great, didn't they, for 8 weeks, start of the year, and it's just unravelling.
What move, Leroy? Ready, boys.
Sangare, Russell having a piggyback.
Marcus, you know, square. Leroy.
Here's Cameron Smith drifting across the field.
Marcus, square up.
Now then, Jared O'Connor, darting run from young O'Connor. Making his 39th consecutive appearance, the Leeds hooker, Lissoni. Here is Austin. Austin away from one, runs into the arms of Ashworth, gets the pass away to McDonnell. A try denied in this first half for the former Wigan youngster James McDonnell. Jared O'Connor. Here is Cameron Smith, a little shimmy. Brought down by Ikehihifo. O'Connor. Caesar it is, trying to find a way over, gets the pass down to Jared O'Connor, quick on his feet. Austin then puts a little kick in, it's another good one, and Lewis Roberts with the chase.
It's just strangling, isn't it? Strangling the opposition. Even when those offloads are, let's face it, ad hoc, the reaction and the response from the players is just good enough tonight.
But what I do like about Leeds, obviously the kicks are great, but what they're doing is they're kicking through ball movement, and that makes it really difficult to defend. Rowan Smith knows that means the Huddersfield edges have to come up. You have to be accountable when Leeds are moving the ball around like that, and that just leaves all manner of space in those corners. Excellent kicks from Austin and Caesar.
Sangare joined Leeds from Toulouse and has been a consistent presence on his debut season. And here's James Donaldson. Leeds, half-time approaching and looking to inflict more pain maybe on the Huddersfield Giants before that half-time hooter sounds. Here is Austin. Lissoni on the charge. McQueen gets a hand into it, comes back, and then it's snapped up by Nagama. Nagama, he knows that there's no point in carrying on up the field there. It was knocked on.
Hasn't he run strong since he got on the field, Lissoni? Making defenders account for him on that occasion. He tries to find a nice, cute slip play to Donaldson. And were it not for Chris McQueen snaking the arm out, he would have gone over. He'll appreciate that, won't he, Rowan Smith? He likes the expressive side of his team when they get it right, when passes stick and offloads find the right players. they're as good as anybody. It's just getting that balance right.
Yeah, when you're a big man like that and you're so powerful, being able to play short is just an asset. We saw James Graham, wonderful exponent of it for years in Super League.
Well, Leeds with the big opportunity, and Fusitua is going to make the most of it. David Fusitua back in the side tonight after a long absence, 9 games out. He got 3 tries in the first 7 before he sustained that ankle injury. And he is back in form and back on the scoreboard.
It's a really basic formula for the Rhinos. Through an exceptional kicking game, Austin and Caesar at their absolute best on the 3rd goal line dropout of the match. This field position is great for the Rhinos. And the Huddersfield Giants are rushing out, trying to solve problems. Centre goes in, Jake Bibby goes in, and then Innes Senior has no option, but it's just class from Leeds over on this right side.
I think it's an overread from Senior. Bibby gets interested in what's going on inside him, but when you're defending in that position, you have to have an eye on what's inside you, an eye on what's outside you. Well, David Fusitua was in acres of space, and it was just a disconnect between Bibby and Senior. And if we looked behind the sticks previously, I think communication's an issue for Huddersfield this year. I think it's really been an issue for them defensively.
I know why you would say that, Wilco. Bibby goes in though, doesn't he? The winger has to mirror his centre. He has 2 or 3 things to deal with, but if he doesn't go in...
Absolutely agree with you. But I just don't... I thought it was an overread from Senior. You come in, you need to be balanced, and you need to defend a couple of men at one time. You're right. Bibby's saying to Senior, look, I'm going in, but he didn't end up doing it.
Reece Martin, 100% record so far this evening. In a busy first half for him from the kicking tee. But this one a tricky one from the sidelines, and pushes it across the face of the post. First miss of the night. Leeds ahead by 22 points to 0. Let's go down to the sideline, John Wells.
Yeah, I'm sat in the Huddersfield dugout in very busy comings and goings. Sebastian Ikehifo has come on 23 minutes and gone off on 33 minutes. A 10-minute spell. I'm told it's tactical. I'd really like to get your co-com's ideas on that. What value that has in the modern game.
Well, yeah, it's a great point, John Wells. I don't think there's a lot tactical about it. I think he's been poor, energy poor, made a mistake. Ian Watson looks fuming and has ripped him off, I would say.
Well, just look at the player on the other team, Lasonic. We've commented about the intensity in his carries. Sometimes a coach will say, give me as long as you've got, but give me everything you've got.
Sangare hands the ball off to Jared O'Connor. Leeds are running hot, and Huddersfield are feeling the heat out there. Blake Austin kicks into big open space there. Look at McDonald chasing this. Look at McDonald chasing that.
You're right, Bill. You're absolutely right. He leads the line, James McDonald. From the moment that kick goes in, he's in the starting blocks. Just look at him. Knows whoever catches that ball is going to be caught in the net. Exceptional work from the back rower.
3rd goal line dropout Leeds have forced that really emphasise 4th, but he emphasises how dominant they have been, and I'm sure Chev Walker, Leeds assistant coach on the sideline, will be happy with what you've seen so far, Chev.
Yeah, but we are. It's been turbulent for the last month or so, and we've just re-evaluated, and we've got a few players come back in, which is Big Sambo and Fussy, and they've added to it, but we spoke all week about just being accountable and doing your job, and doing it for others around you. And tonight we're playing as a team, and we're doing them little left areas.
And I'm sure as coaches you do all this talking, you make all these impassioned speeches, and then it's getting the performance on the field that's the thing, isn't it?
And that's it, yeah. And again, confidence is an hard thing to get and a quick thing to lose, but you get it by working hard and doing something for someone else rather than just for yourself. You never dig yourself out of it all.
Thanks, Chev, because I think you might be in for some more points here. Set restarts. Ollie Russell and then Jake Bibby quickly up on Aidan Caesar to try and restrict the damage. Final minute of the first 40 that Leeds have absolutely dominated. Jared O'Connor. Here is Myler. Myler clattered by Tuilolahea. Myler felt that. It's a bit groggy as he gets to his feet to play that ball. And Blake Austin looking for 1 point to round things off at the end of the first half. Pushes that one wide.
It's a great idea, isn't it? He knows as they go into the changing rooms, 23, and it's a really psychological hurdle, isn't it? Look at this. He's screaming, shouting. He looks like he's on the runway at Leeds Bradford Airport.
Hey, respect to Jack Ashworth. Jack Ashworth, look, he's gone off the field, but he was equally committed on the other side, wasn't he, Jack Ashworth? He's picked up a head knock in that
I'm not
collision.
surprised.
Yeah, the intent. We've seen the intent from Blake Austin.
Did
and
you
been carried on.
You were charging the ball back?
Again, I had very little breath when I was on the field.
It's new, isn't it? Shout, screaming.
Didn't have the wind. He's got the wind now.
I had lots of it, Bill.
Penalty goes the Huddersfield Giants' way, and Oliver Wilson and Justin Sangari.
And this is the reaction, isn't it? You see a charge like that, you see one of your teammates handle it, stand in front, and then he gets carted off. And somebody's drawn a line in the sand in the Huddersfield Giants shirts.
Ben Thaler hasn't dismissed the players yet. He's going to take advice from his officials. Yeah, Wilson responding to Sangari's involvement there, and then picking a fight with Sam Lissoni, which I'm not sure is a wise course of action.
On the evidence of his previous carry, but the question is that a shoulder charge? Donaldson actually ends up worst off. Sangari comes in, and Donaldson, Lissoni's cocked it, but he's not going to throw it. He knows he's not going to throw it. The modern game, cock the fist, it's never coming out.
I'm just thinking of a penalty.
On the field.
Right, common sense. When we get in there at half-time, we tell them I'm not having any of this running in again. All right, so please speak to them, sort it out, or I'll take further action. It's a penalty here.
Give the penalty to the Huddersfield Giants.
Well done, Ben Thaler, managing that situation well.
Right, anything can happen here.
Understands it's half-time. One more play and they go in the changing rooms.
One more hit, Barry.
Go, tap. Okay.
Russell with the kick into the corner, and it's out of play via the hands of Hanley. And Rowan Smith heads downstairs, Ian Watson heads up the tunnel. Blake Austin has been pulling the strings for the Leeds Rhinos tonight, off the back of two very ignominious defeats in Super League Leeds. A lot of expectations of them going into this game. How would they respond? Well, they have dominated Huddersfield and lead by 22 points to 0.
Thanks very much, Bill. Identical recent records for the Leeds Rhinos and Huddersfield Giants going into this round 16 game in the Betfred Super League, but polar opposite performances in the first 40 minutes. We will discuss them shortly with Phil Clark. It has been a half dominated by Rowan Smith's side, with just one win in their last 7 and in front of their iconic number 7, Rob Burrow. The pressure was on the Rhinos to perform. Oh, how they have. Positively volcanic in the first 40 minutes. 4 tries, Sam Walters, Richie Myler, Ash Handley and David Fussatua, returning after a 9-match absence, have absolutely put Huddersfield to the sword. There is 40 more minutes to go. Though, Phil Clark, is there any way back for Ian Watson's side tonight?
I can't see it at all. I see a strong 40 minutes here from Leeds, and we start to think maybe they'll repeat what they did last year.
We may be witnessing the resurrection of the Leeds Rhinos. It may be the end of the Huddersfield Giants season, even at this early stage. Pressure-filled game still to come. 40 more minutes of this. Let's get back to our commentary team. John Wilkin, Barry McDermott and Bill Arthur.
Yeah, the Leeds Rhinos fans will be hoping that they can do what they did last season when they were similarly in the doldrums and then strung together an emphatic run of form that took them into the playoff places and ultimately to the grand final. Okay, they came up short against St Helens, but they know how it's done. Huddersfield, third place finishes last season, fell at the first hurdle in the playoffs. And maybe they haven't regrouped since then, have they? Lots of recruitment, and yet it just hasn't gelled.
Yeah, they've not gelled, and they just look lacking in confidence, and they were so difficult to beat. Well, Leeds have just dismantled them easily in that first half. You know, I do think recruitment's huge. I said Danny Levi, a big loss, and I feel Clark alluded to the tries Kevin Nagama scored. Well, Nicky Lutelli wasn't in the team for his tries. He's in the team because he creates ruck speed for Huddersfield and gets him going, and they've just not looked like they've had any of that. You can do what you want with the ball. He's conceded 22 points and a half, Bill. You're almost out of the game.
Well, Huddersfield have got to find a way of trying to stop this Leeds juggernaut this evening, because Leeds have had the freedom of the Headingley pitch.
Speaking of Leeds juggernauts, I think Barry McDermott's been downstairs to get the grass out of his underpants from the pre-match.
TMI, Will.
Thank you for sharing that.
TMI. It's all out now anyway.
Here is Sam Lissoni, whose impact was considerable in the first half, having been 3 out. The kick from Caesar, and Price gathers that one.
Well, he's one player for the Huddersfield Giants that can cause any defence problems. Hardly seen the ball, and when he's seen it, it's been at this part of the field for his side.
Well, how do the Huddersfield Giants turn this one round? What's the mood in the camp? Let's hear from Giants assistant coach Luke Robinson. Luke, what's the priority at the start of this second half?
Oh, look, we need to win the field position battle. We're constantly in a zone 20-30, and that's due to basically just turning the ball over really poorly on end of sets, dropping the ball coming out of yardage, and that's probably been as downfall in attack, and defensively we've just given away too many inside shoulders. Every time Seas or Austin's come back against the grain on an inside shoulder, we've given it up, and they've made either easy meters or dented our line.
Thanks, Luke. You're on the front foot here. Jake Bibby's run, and then Farge on the last with a kick into the corner. The ball is with the Senior, and Senior desperately trying to find a way of getting it out of his grasp, but he can't, and Leeds had bodies there. Look how many there were there to stop his progress.
It's better. It's a better kick from Theo Farge. It's the trademark Huddersfield. Pin you in a corner and now use all of your energy to get off the defensive line and suppress Leeds' ability to make meters. That's what the Huddersfield sort of culture, the Ian Watson era of Huddersfield's been built on.
And you're right, Wilco, he's dragging him back into that corner, doesn't he? He wants another goal. Look at how compressed that defensive line is.
Fusitua trying to make some yards for Leeds. Castleford lead Warrington 14 points to 4. Hull KR comfortably ahead against Wakefield last we heard. The game's going on elsewhere tonight. Leeds comfortably ahead here. The set restart hooter signals more possession for the Rhinos as Bentley is tackled by Theo Farge. And here's Ash Hanley, 10 years a Rhino, and absolutely no hesitation about signing a 3-year extension, Hanley. Here is James Donaldson. Donaldson, Kutcher with the tackle for the Giants. And Caesar bursting through a big gap. Caesar has got some support from Myler. Myler on it comes to McDonald, and McDonald will get the try this time. He's deserved that as James McDonald. Caesar, Myler in the build-up, and on their shoulder was 23-year-old James McDonald, denied in the first half by the video ref. No denying the Irish international that one.
It's been a great game for McDonald. Defensively excellent. Been on the end of a few opportunities, and he finally got over the try line, which Luke Robinson spoke about, and getting their inside shoulders ripped off. Well, Jack Ashworth's just had his shoulder clean ripped off by Caesar yet again. So if that's been spoken about at half-time, my question is to Huddersfield, are you listening? Are you concentrating? Because that's the message from your assistant coach. And Aidan Caesar's just come out and square planted one straight on the nose of Jack Ashworth, took his inside shoulder away, and just done exactly what Luke Robinson has just outlined to us is the problem. Now that's a concentration issue, a great piece of play from Caesar.
All right, Mr. Half Empty. I'm Mr. Half Full tonight.
Oh, you look at
the work from Jared O'Connor at number 9 is exceptional. Jumps out, takes a marker, takes the first defender, and then the intensity of that run means that they're always on the front. Of course, 3-year deal in the cupboard, as they say, and well-deserved as well.
Inked.
Inked a 3-year deal.
Has the ink dried on the deal?
I think so.
If it's not, they might push it up to a 4 or a 5-year deal.
Reece Martin missed with his last conversion attempt. Back on target with this one, and Leeds on target for a resounding victory here.
Again, Jared O'Connor, you mentioned it before, he's played 39 games consecutively. He's only played 39 games as a number 9, and he's still got the rugby league knowledge to create space for his teammates.
The answer's great from O'Connor. It was just the pace at which Caesar and Austin have played at has been different level, and fantastic support from Richie Myler. Lovely try there from Leeds.
Oh, he's dropped that, Sangare.
Huddersfield have it straight back from the restart. Sangare, and he's limping as he goes back to the Leeds line. And an opportunity, but he's not afraid of getting involved in the tackle. Justin Sangare, it was his error. Here is Ashworth.
Jared don't mind too. Let him get him, Jack. Go.
Sam Lasoni's gum shield coming out in that tackle. Here is Cudjoe now. Huddersfield seeking some sort of consolation in this game, some inspiration in this game. Is Fage. Price and Nagama. Nagama puts the brakes on and then confronts Martin, but there's numbers there for the Rhinos to stop the former Saint. Chris McQueen. Is Fage now. Out it goes to McGilvray. McGilvray trying to use his strength. Stopped in the corner. That's the 5th tackle.
Stand up. Go.
Fage now. Fage puts the kick in, and it ricochets off one of his own players, and Reece Martin is away. Martin is away. Lolohea chasing him down and managing to stop him on the halfway line. But that sums up Huddersfield's kicking game.
Sam Lasoni is having the best game he's had in a Leeds Rhinos shirt. Gets up and puts pressure on Huddersfield Giants. That's the reason the mistake happens. That's what you want from your bench player. Look at him. He gets to the player, makes his presence felt. There's no penalty, no illegal move, and his side get the just rewards.
When Huddersfield have been up at that end of the field and had an opportunity to create or even just build a bit of pressure, they've squandered it. The kicking game has let them down.
Yeah, I think they've just got the wrong side of the energy battle. So when you get the ball, your decisions are a bit sloppy, and I feel like they've not got it right. You need to really use your energy to defend well, sap the other team of energy. Well, Leeds have done the exact opposite, haven't they? 4 repeat sets, built a shed load of pressure, and Huddersfield, again here, just conceded penalties and been poor. But look at this. Wow, the last 5 meetings, if we go way back, how close these two sides have been, going all the way back to 2020. Unbelievably close games. This is the biggest difference that we've seen between these two sides for 5 years, and Leeds have really taken it to Huddersfield here.
Well, taking a breather, because they've summoned the kicking tee, and Reece Martin will come across the field and add 2 more points. And it's pleasing for James McDonald. There is Reece Martin, the most recent try scorer, James McDonald, because when you think the last home game against St Helens, he was sent off in the 77th minute for a phantom punch.
Yeah, he's been a tireless worker during his time at the Rhinos. A really diligent professional, goes about his business in an efficient manner, but you need those players, and you need to complement those players with a little bit of flash, a little bit of speed.
Well, if you look at the last 48 hours of Super League, what's been the story? It's been effort, it's been energy.
I want to ask you a question then, Wilco. We watched the Huddersfield Giants behind the sticks. We were looking at the body language. We were looking at the lack of communication. They've gone in at half-time. They've had something from Ian Watson. And again, look at them there. There's not much communication there. What would you be saying if you were leading, if you were the skipper of this side? What would you be getting round and saying to the players?
Well, the danger is actually, Barry, you get into a rabbit warren of complexity when things go wrong. You start looking for all the answers outside, looking everywhere for the answers. The answers are there. And Leeds have shown that today with just a pure commitment to carry the ball hard and to defend with each other. And that, for me, has to be the starting point for Huddersfield.
Reece Martin tags on 2 more points. Leeds extend their advantage coming up to the 50-minute mark. 30 points to 0, they lead. Let's go down to the sidelines. Injury news from John Wells.
Yep, first unplanned change for the Leeds Rhinos. Justin Sangare left the field. He's got an ice pack on the foot there. He'd been carrying that throughout the last stages of the first half. He's finally succumbed to that injury. And he will, I dare say, not be playing no further part in this game.
Thanks, John. And Huddersfield restart once again. Well, this game build beforehand is a crucial one for the two sides in terms.
Final.
Yeah, that's what Ian Watson not keen to consider that term. But if you're going to turn your season around, it's got to start now.
Yeah, Rowan Smith for the first time in what I've been listening to and the noises around Headingley used language like that. It was probably getting the players to understand the enormity of the situation that they're in, but getting them to also be accountable that you are in the middle of something. You need to do the right things more often than not. Is that a 40-20?
It's a huge kick.
Sorry, I got distracted with that kick then. So, yeah, their players have responded, and he's responded better than anybody.
Yeah, Blake Austin's been exceptional. Look, he's got such a big boot on him, and he loves to pick big plays, doesn't he? He loves to spot those opportunities and take them. Austin's been magic for Leeds.
On the back of his 40-20, Leeds are on the attack, and here is Myler. Fizz in his boots. Here is Jared O'Connor, spring in his step. Leeds really buzzing tonight. O'Connor edging his way towards that Huddersfield try line. The Giants desperately manning the rear guard. Will Price issuing instructions. Walters looking for a second. He's driven back. Leeds poised. O'Connor makes some space. Donaldson likewise, and now it's Austin and Austin. This time McQueen and Hill with the tackle. He can't perform any trickery there, but Reece Martin. Again, Huddersfield scrambling in defence to stop his progress. O'Connor booms the pass out to Austin. Lissone. Here's Walters now. Walters shows the ball and then was looking for somebody on his shoulder. Here is Jared O'Connor. Austin stabs the kick in. Oh, and Farge did ever so well there. Stopped it, juggled it, handed it to Chris Hill.
Just to paint a picture here, right? It's a great piece of play from Theo Farge, some desperation defensively from Huddersfield at last. Let's just paint a picture of Huddersfield here. Your star player, who you've gone out, Richard Hewis has gone out and bought, is playing in reserves. He's not even in the team, right? Your team that you've put together are in the doldrums of confidence, lacking form. It's not a pretty picture for Huddersfield. And I know it's obvious to say they're nowhere near where they need to be. Jake Connor was the man who was coming in to answer some attacking questions. For me, you're 30-0 down. It's all about defensive attitude for Huddersfield. It's their only way back to any sort of form.
And in that shot, we saw Eason Masters as well. He was involved in the reserves. So Ian Watson not afraid to rattle some cages and let those players know he's not happy with them. But it's up to those 17 on deck today. Matty English as well. It's up to these players on deck today to hold that decline.
But they can. Ian Watson's a fantastic young coach. He's done unbelievable things with Salford. This is a blip. There's a lot of learning to be done here. But if there's a coach who can turn it round, Ian Watson, you believe, is one of those men. He just needs to get some belief back into his team. And not just that, some resilience, some robustness and a willingness to work for each other, because it's been littered by things like this, Bill. It's near impossible to build any pressure and get into a game when you A, make mistakes, or B, concede penalties like this. And I'll add to that, kick the ball dead every time you get to your last play.
Sam Lissone, high shot on James Donaldson. Said that so many times. He seems to be on the receiving end of so many of those. Here is Blake Austin, the penalty for Leeds, and Caesar reunited with his partner, Austin. And the combination working well tonight. Myler, who has been in the halves while Caesar has been absent. Here is Sam Walters. And Leeds inside that Huddersfield 10 once again. Jared O'Connor. Donaldson works the run around with him. Here's Sam Lissone. Lissone.
Oh, wow.
Look at the footwork from him. It's not just brute strength.
Well,
there's a little bit of guile there as well.
When a player of that size and power is throwing a big dummy, doing a big goose step, that's almost taking the mickey out of the defenders.
Myler gets the pass away. Fusitua will get a second. Willie, has he got that down? I'm not sure he has. He's held up, says the referee. And good defence.
Well done, Will Price.
Class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What a tackle. Fusitua massive as well. He's such a big man.
Ready, boys? Go!
You really expected Fusitua to just go straight over the top of Will Price there.
There's a bit of an arrogance, wasn't there, with that carry?
On the last Austin's kick, and it's batted down and forward by Hanley. And Huddersfield have the ball back. And what's more, Leeds were offside.
Yeah, there was an arrogance with Dave Fusitua there. I don't know whether if the scoreboard was slightly different, he might have took that.
Ooh,
there you go, Warrington on the way back.
14-10, yeah. And Wakefield's narrowing the gap. 22-12, the scoreline there.
Comebacks elsewhere, Bill. Unlikely here, you would have to say.
I think so, yeah. We're going to have to sort out a man of the match, a Rob Burrow player of the match. John Wilkins' job, and here is McQueen. That's one you've got to prepare yourself for, apparently.
Wow. News.
Well, you've got plenty of candidates. They're mainly, well, they're exclusively in that Leeds Rhinos MNP shirt as the ball comes to Russell. And Russell finds Cudjoe, and Huddersfield in uncharted territory here. They're on the attack. They're 10 metres away from that Leeds line. Here's Tuilolahea. Here is Luke Yates. Yates just short of that Leeds try line, looking to the referee for some intervention there. On the last, Farge. What's the kick like this time? It's no good because it's a pass straight into the hands of Hanley, and he is gone. Good covering tackle in the ends from Innes Senior.
He might be going.
Senior then, having made the tackle, just wanted a bit too much and is sent to the sin bin.
Well, it's a lovely angle that he chooses to cut down Ash Hanley, who does remarkably well to get in the line, get the interception. You can see his stride is good, he slows down with the anticipation of just in and away in his senior who has him, and I think all day and all night he knows exactly what he's doing. He's prepared to take the risk to allow that extra second or two for his defenders to get back. This game is harsh when it's played at this pace and ferocity.
Harsher now with only 12 players on the pitch for the Huddersfield Giants. It's been hard enough against this Leeds side with a full complement. And this is a big opportunity for Leeds to really... Oh, but it's not. Because Oledzki has dropped that ball on the short pass and put it down.
There's not been
and an opportunity goes begging for Leeds.
Not been many blips from Leeds, has there? Not been many errors from Leeds. It's been clinical, it's been tidy, and it's been full of energy.
You talked about energy, and there's no doubt that the Huddersfield Giants have spent a large portion of this game under pressure. The completions are quite high, but in terms of completed sets, they're on 15 and the Leeds Rhinos are 27. And putting that into an individual context, Luke Yates is approaching 50 tackles already.
You're off the hook. It is Rob Burrow's choice of player of the match. It's his award.
Absolutely.
But he's still got the same choice, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody in Giants colours has covered themselves in glory tonight.
He'll pick a half-back.
I'm not speaking to him at the minute.
He'll pick a half-back. Half-backs always do.
He's a bully. I'm not speaking to him at the minute.
Lolahay has gone for a deep, deep kick. Just too strong. Let's go down to the sidelines. More injury news from John.
Yeah, just a quick one, Bill. Second unplanned change for the Leeds Rhinos. Cam Smith nursing a high calf injury. They're saying it's just a precaution. At the moment, we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Thanks, John. Well, he's been an ever-present this season, Cam Smith. He won't want that run to stop, but with the game firmly in control, Leeds can afford to not take any risks with people.
And he's been a big contributor. A lot of the ball movement for Leeds comes through him. You see Jared O'Connor really fulfil that role now. He can tidily do that as well. It's so important to have somebody through the middle of the field who can move teams around. Corey Johnson now goes into 9, and we see Jared O'Connor step into the loose forward role.
And we're just approaching the final quarter. Leeds, of course, it's too early to be thinking about next week, but they go to the Warrington Wolves next Thursday night, live on Sky Sports.
Of course, Warrington having a real battle with the Castleford Tigers, and they've fought back in that game. They were, I think, 12-0 down at one point. It's 14 points apiece now. Hull KR keeping some distance between themselves and Wakefield at 28-12. And Leeds looking for more points and getting more points. And Sam Walters getting a second try of the night on the shoulder of Corey Johnson. Johnson doing so well there. For a moment it looked as though it was going to be Johnson's try, but he got the pass away. And Big Sam was on his shoulder. His second of the night. And Leeds all smiles. And Huddersfield dejected.
As you'd expect, Huddersfield expect better than this. The Leeds are just punishing them. It's tidy from Corey Johnson, a great offload. And you're right, Big Sam on hand. Lovely strength from Johnson, bumps off Will Price, and then a lovely right-hand flick offload. And that's what I've liked about Leeds. Whenever there's been an opportunity to turn up for your mate, to push and support your mate, they've done it. Now Walters can easily clock off there, he doesn't. It's that last few steps, anticipating that the ball will get to him. And that's encouraging.
It's the two C's, isn't it? His confidence and communication. He hasn't got full sight of the supporting player, Corey Johnson, but he knows from the call and the confidence in that call that Big Sam Walters is going to turn up if he speculates and throws that ball, offloads it into the path of the big fella.
Martin Bang in front of the posts. 2 more points coming up for him. And the punishment continuing for the Huddersfield Giants. 36 points to 0. Leeds ahead.
I just like the fact that players are flooded through here. Jared O'Connor obviously draws the attention of Chris Hill, and that creates a little bit of doubt, little opportunity for Big Sam Walters.
You know, you saw that graphic earlier on about how close contests have been between these two sides. I mean, it was 18-17 earlier in this season. And honestly came here this evening thinking, what was at stake? You know, the phase of the season we're in, that this was going to be another close contest, but there's been only one side in it.
Well, look, there's a big distance on the scoreboard, 36-0, but if we look at some of the stats for the game, there's an even bigger distance. Huddersfield, 307 tackles, Leeds only 176. You know, it just goes down. 38% possession, 62 to Leeds, and then carries only 86 for Huddersfield and 169. And the sum total of that is just complete domination for Leeds. Whether you're into numbers or not, the numbers tell a bit of a story. The biggest number that matters is the 36 zip that's on the scoreboard.
Giants have failed to win in any of their last 6 away meetings with Leeds, and that includes the COVID game in 2020 at St Helens. And on course for another defeat here as Austin breaks once more. Myler is on his shoulder. Myler puts the kick in. Martin is chasing. Oh, what a try that is. What a try that is from the red-hot Rhinos. And Blake Austin back on the halfway line, gets to his feet. The referee has not confirmed the try. Tom Grant is going to have a look at onside-offside, I suspect.
Number 4, on-field call for try. We're checking onside-offside. Pauses on the foot, and they are all good, so we can go through to grounding, please. So we tighten on grounding. Thank you.
No doubt about it. Rhys Martin adds a try to his tally tonight, and Leeds ramming home their authority in this game. And once again, Blake Austin at the heart of it. Leeds hit 40 points.
Well, back in Rob Burrows' day, there was a number 6 that absolutely lit up Headingley in Danny Maguire. And Blake Austin's performance tonight has been one of, if not his best. The confidence to kick that ball, and watch this, perfect bounce for Rhys Lightning.
Rhys. No. Oh well, hey, forget about that from Barry. Let's look at this from Blake. That's incredible. He's just dictated, hasn't he, so much tonight for Leeds. Everything that's been good. Blake Austin from minute 1, Bill, has taken this game to Huddersfield. An exceptional, again, injection of pace from him. When this man gets the bit between his teeth, he's almost unstoppable, and he's been unstoppable here tonight.
Martin doesn't miss his try, his conversion, 42 points to 0.
And it's again instinctive play, it's not a structure, is it? Blake Austin just pushes in support, Richie Myler pushes in support, and then you're right, the confidence to kick it, and Rhys Martin, ever dependable Rhys Martin, is on the end of it. There's so much to like about that try. It's a commitment to each other. It's like, if you make effort to run that hard, I'm going to push with you. And there's a lot in that for many teams who are watching this here tonight.
Excuse me, Wilco, you need to use his full name.
Rhys
Lightning Martin.
No, I refuse.
No, you're just really now overdoing it, I think.
It's my trouble, Bill.
Yeah, it was clever, okay, but
let's leave it.
Leave it at that. Huddersfield Tigers have nudged ahead, 15 points to 14. Gareth Widdop with that 45-metre drop goal that's put Huddersfield Tigers just ahead. That'd be a big win for Andy Last's team.
Some time to go there, Bill. This looks like a cracking game.
Here's Jared O'Connor. Chris Hill with a tackle, frustrated. Hill won't be enjoying this. No Huddersfield Giant player supporter would be. Myler, little chip kick ahead. And there's a high shot on Myler after he put the kick in. And Leeds will get the penalty.
Well, it ends up in the big fella's hands, who hands it across to Richie Myler. That's an average kick at best, but Chris Hill can't resist. 2 former Warrington teammates, of course, and Chris Hill shows his frustration.
Huddersfield really are on the receiving end tonight, a punishing night for them. They were nilled at Hull KR only last month, 28-0, and they were close to being nilled at Magic against Saints, 48-6. So there's some cracks in that Giants' defence.
Oh, and that man wouldn't be happy, would he, Ken Davey? He came out at the start of the year and said this is the best team they've ever had. Well, it might be the worst performing team that he's had with that pressure on him.
Here's Caesar. Caesar slips one tackle, gets the pass away. Walters on a hat-trick. Walters on a hat-trick and legs driving. He's just stopped just short. The ball with James McDonnell. Cudjoe trying his best, he was offside.
Everything going the way of the Rhinos at the minute, isn't it? Ben Thaler sees a couple of players to choose from. Not got back the required distance.
They're back to full complement. Sinner Senior has just returned to the field. Huddersfield. Here is Sam Walters. Gives himself up for rather than get pinged for obstruction and everything. Corey Johnson. Lively. On the bench for the last 4 games, Corey Johnson. O'Connor. Jared O'Connor fancying his chances, but Will Price makes the tackle on him. Wilson in there as well. Huddersfield trying to stop any more Leeds points. And on that occasion, the ball ricocheted into the arms of Cudjoe and they were offside.
Accidentally offside, yeah. Well, it's not going for you, is it? Even the ricochets.
And it's been a big kicking night for Leeds. You know, they've kicked and created tries, they've kicked and created repeat sets, and kicked and in a very different way got the ball back there. An element of fortune in it. Leroy Cudjoe's certainly not happy. There's frustration from Huddersfield. You understand that. They're just not where they'd like to be. That can manifest itself in all sorts of ways, being chirpy with the referee, being chirpy with each other.
Right, I am riding.
But they'll have a word with Chris Hillier.
Go in the ruck.
A year ago, Leeds were 10th on the table. At that point, they were only 5 points adrift of the side in 5th place in the table. And then they went on this amazing run, 9 wins from their final 11 weekly round games, and that's what got them into the playoff places. Is this the start of a similar run?
Well, they've got to get out of that play like this week and then drop next week, Bill. If you're going to go on a run, they've just got to maintain a level of performance. And the things that I've liked about Leeds are energy, intent, just like almost a ruthless attacking of the ball and hitting on the ad line from the half-backs. And then they've just turned up for each other defensively. So they need to go on a run now, don't they?
Austin puts the kick in. This time, it comes off a Huddersfield boot, and Myler has to race back to the Giants' 40-metre line to gather that ball.
And just to expand on that, Wilco, just to put into context the size of what's in front of them, they've not managed to string 3 winning games together, Leeds Rhinos.
We were having a similar conversation last year. They did it last year. They've got to go to the well again, haven't they?
They've got to go to Warrington, they've got to go to Salford, they've got to play Hull KR at home, then away at Saints. That's the next 4 fixtures for them.
It's not easy. This year's delivered, hasn't it? We just don't know what's going to happen.
Walters, Caesar, Myler. In his senior, just managing to stop Myler. 20 metres away they are. Is Caesar. Sam Walters. That's the 5th tackle. Myler with the kick. Kick cross field. Fusitua has it. Fusitua has the try. His 2nd of the night. No hesitation from Ben Taylor to award that one. David Fusitua denied earlier in this 2nd half. This time they could not stop him. He takes his tally to the season for 5, and he has returned to the side tonight after that 9-game absence and really made his mark. And Rob Burrow, what a night it has been for the Burrow family here tonight. And he will have enjoyed this absolutely rampant Rhino rout and run out of ours.
Well, Rob would have enjoyed the way that the halfbacks have dictated the pace of the game, they've controlled it. And if you chuck in that extra spine player and Richie Myler, it's been a resounding win, hasn't it, for the Rhinos?
Ruthless. Ruthless from them. It's what they needed. And for Fusitua and co, the challenge is next week. The challenge is to do this again, to find something that's repeatable and then go at it again and again and again. But I've enjoyed watching Leeds this year. They've been unusual to watch because you just don't know what you're going to get. I'm sure Rob and everybody in the stadium would be hoping that they might have a more predictable next few weeks. But what a night it's been. Lindsay, Rob and family, a special occasion from a sport that is a community, isn't it? We are a family, as much as we disagree. In fact, we're a family, aren't we? Because we disagree at times.
And there's the round of applause that both Rob and Lindsay and kids deserve.
Rhys Martin looking to make it 20 points on the night for him, which he has done. 48 points to 0. 10 minutes to go. Leeds on course for a half-century.
Yeah, I bumped into a Leeds fan in the stairwell, a young lad called Declan Taylor, who said it'll be 50 points this, John. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure, maybe not. And he's right. I'm terrible at predicting results in games. Rowan Smith will be delighted. Huddersfield just work to do. Work, big work to do.
Well, a bit like Hull last night, where the supporters came to the MKM Stadium, and you felt it beforehand. There was a bit of a down. It hasn't been going well. Out of the Challenge Cup. Leeds, likewise, back-to-back defeats. Castleford, Wakefield. Players, the supporters didn't really know what to expect. What a response this has been.
But that's what I said last night. This is why we love rugby league. You're never certain what's going to happen.
No, you're not.
As a Rhinos fan, you're never certain what's going to happen. Huddersfield Giants at the minute, they'd like to be in that position where they're going to be either side of the coin.
There is a certainty, though, about things. If you, last night, Fashion Co took it to St Helens. Well, tonight, Austin and Caesar have dictated the intensity, and it's about energy and intent and a commitment, and Leeds have had that, and I haven't seen that from Huddersfield Giants. It's in there somewhere, isn't it? We've seen it in the past, but it's just not visible right now. But an exceptional performance from Leeds.
In April it was here. There was 17 points to 18, the scoreline. In Leeds' favour that was that night. But there's a massive gulf between the two sides tonight. McDonnell, one of the outstanding performers, who will win the Rob Burrow Player of the Match award, selected by the man himself. He's got a lot to choose from. I think Barry's right. He's going to be a half-back. Yeah. And it might be a half-back wearing 6 on his back. Yeah. Not 7. Be nice if it was 7. But Blake Austin might have just shaded his half-back partner, Aidan Caesar. Then again, he might give it to Sam Walters.
Sam Walters, I think Sam Lasoni has made a huge...
What a win that is for the Castleford Tigers. Sorry, Barry. 23-14 and 28-12 against Wakefield. So they keep their pursuit of a top 6 place on the road. Hull KR might even be in the 6. Ian Proctor will just double check. Castleford will keep Wakefield at bay at the bottom of the table. And Leeds, on the back of this, will keep the top 6 in sight. Huddersfield, well, the second half of the season is going to be testing for the club, that's for sure. Lollahea Farge. Little kick ahead from Will Price. McGilvery is chasing it. It's just going to beat him. No, it isn't. Manages to keep it in play, but straight into the hands of Myler.
There's good speed from McGilvery, a nice kick from Will Price. But these are the areas that Huddersfield need to be better. They need to finish in this part of the field more often. The kicking game needs to be way more accurate, and then they need to not concede penalties coming out of the half.
We keep referencing the numbers, Wilco, don't we? Because as we're looking at the ones we record, 28 missed tackles from Huddersfield Giants in this match. We've got the last 5 or so minutes. Numbers don't always tell you the tale, but they give you a fair idea, don't they?
But the pictures today match that number. Yeah. It feels like Huddersfield have been sloppy defensively. They've been passive. They've lacked energy. And that's been forced on them by Leeds, because Leeds have dictated everything. Roberts kicks the ball ahead. But Leeds have been incredible here. Their detail and their effort and intent, exceptional.
Just to confirm, Hull KR, despite that victory over Wakefield, stays 7th on points difference. Wigan ahead of them in 6th place in the table, but it's so tight in and around the fringes of the top, well, in and around the top of the table.
Leeds will be pleased with how they've defended. Look, they've scored 48 points, great, but Huddersfield have just not had it. Another mistake from them.
Frustration.
Oh, absolutely. Why would you not? You've got to be frustrated. If it's 48-0 and you're not frustrated, get off, leave. Well, look, Leeds will be delighted with how they've defended, and I think that'll be more pleasing in some ways to Rowan Smith.
Bentley gets the ball on the bounce to Hanley. Sorry, John.
No, they've been tidy there, Bill.
And they've still passed the ball. They've still asked questions, and they've made more handling errors than Huddersfield Giants.
The ever-willing Jared O'Connor takes Leeds up to the halfway line.
Jared O'Connor could be in the conversation for the man of the match. 80 minutes, 60 of them at hooker.
Myler again kicking and again inviting Hanley to chase. He backs the ball back in field to Reece-Martin, and Martin might have a second try here. I suspect he might go to the video ref. No, he's awarded it. No hesitation from Ben Thaler. And Reece-Martin gets his second of the night. It takes him to 24 points on the night. Kick to come in front of the posts. And Huddersfield dejectedly walk back towards their own try line once again.
It's another kick for Rowan Smith's men, another try. The accuracy of kicking game, the variety of kicks has been exceptional for Leeds. And as Richie Myler puts this on, so I think you're going to see something special from Ash Handley. He's either special or lucky. Felt like it was special. Flicks it back inside. Reece-Martin, just so dependable, Reece-Martin. Again, it's from the kick from Richie Myler, and the variety of kicks and the accuracy has just been lovely. And it's beautiful from Hanley, isn't it? The presence of mind. And his teammate Reece-Martin turning up for him. Once again, what a finish, what a performance here from Leeds.
Well, this is, margin-wise, Leeds' biggest win under Rowan Smith. It's not the biggest score under Rowan Smith. That was at Hull last July, 62 points to 16. But they've had 2 weeks stewing since that Wakefield game. They wanted to get out on the pitch. They wanted to put things right. A coach cannot have hoped for anything better than this. This has been absolutely outstanding from Rowan Smith's side.
And tonight, they've had a reaction. It's been a big night for Leeds. A big emotional night for Leeds Rhinos. One of the legends of the club, one of the legends of our game, has been celebrated here tonight. And that's created an atmosphere and an intensity to the atmosphere that's really drawn out a performance from Leeds. An intensity from Leeds. Now, whether it is Rob and the inspiration of Rob's cheerfulness in adversity that's brought this out of Leeds, we'll not know, but it's certainly contributed to what's been a special night for this club.
But what a turnaround. I mean, 2 weeks ago, the performance at Wakefield, as Barry said, was regarded by Leeds fans as one of the worst of the Super League era. And some of the stick they took on social media after that game made you feel as though, you know, Headingley would have been half empty here tonight. And they've turned up tonight, and it's a completely different side.
Yeah, it is. And the challenge, as I said previously, is to do this next week. To do it when people aren't maybe expecting you to produce a performance like this, when the atmosphere is not as big as this. Champion teams have a habit of turning up when you least expect them to and just keep turning up. And Leeds, that's been their issue over the last few years, is consistently turning up. They've got the opportunity to go on a run and get to the big dance at the end of the year once again. Unfortunately for Huddersfield, you feel like that's season over, don't you?
Yeah. Well, the atmosphere will be good next Thursday when Leeds travel to Warrington. Warrington stung by defeat at the Castleford Tigers tonight. That's something these two have got in common, because Leeds suffered at the hands of Castleford at Magic, of course, and Warrington have done tonight. And these two will go head-to-head at the Halliwell Jones next Thursday night. There you go, 7:30, Sky Sports Arena. And then we're at Lee on the Friday night. Lee against Hull Kingston Rovers.
That Warrington game, just watch to see what Warrington's confidence looks like. Tune in to watch that. It's an interesting game. Leeds, obviously buoyant after this. And Warrington, everyone's just having a look at them and seeing, are they rattled right now? And how is that going to last?
Here is Cudjoe. Huddersfield then, it's 1 win in 8 now for them in League and Cup. And Leeds, 2 wins in 8. So it's an improvement, but it's a big improvement. And final seconds of the game. And the South Stand saluting them. The man whose name has been on everybody's lips tonight, Rob Burrow. McQueen. Is there a last flourish maybe from the Huddersfield Giants? Last kick of the game. The ball is loose. It's in Bentley's hands. The hooter sounds. Final tackle of the game. And Leeds bask in the adulation of their supporters once again. Rowan Smith's side well and truly back on track. There wasn't a lot to choose between these two sides going into this game. 1 win in 7 for both of them. They've come out the other end with Leeds looking like the side who could yet turn their season around and make a charge, a late charge for the top 6. Huddersfield's hopes fading on the evidence of this. Well and truly beaten. Reece Martin, an outstanding performance from him, 26 points to his name. And Leeds have won this one by 54 points to 0.